Hi everyone, this is Chiran here. In previous video, we saw why World War III is expected to come and what is happening in world politics and few other important things to be covered. In this video, we gonna see about the few more. It's gonna be a continuation of that video. So, we all know that recently that meeting has happened between India and China for disengagement of the troops from the actual line of control. Even though it was not a complete successful meeting, but we can see somewhat relaxation of the current tension in the actual line of control between India and China. So we all see the positive signs of disengagement of army, but it was not completely success, I mentioned, because the first thing, we can't trust China because they'll say one thing and the things actually they'll be doing somewhat preparing themselves for something worse than that. So, as per the previous experience in the previous war with China, which was in 1962, same thing has happened. So, they come up with the peace. So, immediately after 2 months, they started a war against it, and it was a huge hit for India. Actually, we lost that war because of that untrustworthy behavior from the China, and also we were not. That much developed country in that time, and we were in the beginning stages of the development at that moment. Now the current scenario is completely different, and coming across from that point, and after this meeting, even though both the countries have accepted for disengagement of army, but India additionally 35,000 soldiers has been deployed. Additional deployment has been done in the actual line of control even after that meeting of disengagement. So what's all this about, like why all this so much chaos is created in this border actual line of control. So in this video we're gonna see complete detail about that, and also we're gonna see what are the positive advantages that India has, which China don't have in the comparison of army, because we all know that China is the third world largest army capable country in the world, and India is the fourth largest country. Even though China is the third largest country, India has more advantage than China. So we're gonna discuss all those things in detail and few other important things as well. And China does follow one thing: whenever they want to occupy a country, whenever they want to make their influence in other country, they just make use of the country's advantage and turn them to their disadvantage. This is the current trend which they are following, because you can see that Australia and China, they both were very friendly countries some recent times back as well. Even though from past 2 3 months before as well, Australia's major income, like 16% of the educational department income, was coming from the China student who's been traveled from China for Australia for education purpose. And also 11% of the Australian tourism income was coming from China side. There's almost like one third of the trading which is being done, all the export, one third of the export is made in China. If China is having so much preference in Australia, why they want to turn against China? So this is a big question, because China is following a one simple methodology to influence each country. They'll take their own advantage and turn them into the disadvantage. Same has been happened with Italy as well. And also there's been same trying with India. With India, what methodology they have used is, India have a freedom of speech. So they were planning to turn against this as India by using the foreign direct investments. So what happens? We all know economic of all the countries is stand based on the growth of the companies which they have. So if China is having a huge influence in the FDI, foreign direct investment in Indian companies, so what happens? They can raise a voice against using those Indian companies against the Indian government. If suppose they feel somewhat threatened that been coming from the Indian government, if suppose the current government which is having India, if we provide a huge threat to China, China will have a greater hand in controlling the all Indian companies and turn them to the against Indian government. They can influence the current company to talk about against the things of Indian government, and they can create a different opinion, and they can collapse the government. This is what they are trying to do, and this is a strategy they are following with all the countries who they're trying to become friend with. So this is a major thing. That's the only reason, I guess, we stopped completely, and we uh, kept many barriers for foreign direct investment and trade between India and China, and using of apps. All those things are because of this one particular reason, and also for security purpose of the Indian customer users. Now we're gonna see what are the major advantage that India has comparative to Chinese army. So if you can see, there are around 25 lakhs army people who is working in Chinese army. We gonna see all the individuals like ground force, air force, and navy. All these three things into individually. Comparatively, in these things, Indian Air Force having a major upper hand when compared to China. Because if you see, for this fight with whenever a fight happens between the two big economy, these generation 1, generation 2, or generation 3 fighter jets will not be taking a huge part in that war, because it is not updated. So we gonna consider only about the generation 4. As of now, India has 102 generation 4 aircraft, and China has around 120 generation 4 aircraft. So if China wanted to get into a war with India, they obviously want to divide their generation 4 capable aircraft uh, into like several divisions, like Taiwan or Russia, Japan, or South China Sea, South China Sea, and India. But India is no need to divide such a long, because we only have a border threat with only two major sides, which we feel a potential threat, which is one is Pakistan and one is China. So this is a major this thing that India has. And also we have a generation 4, we are developing our generation 4 aircraft recently. If you can see, 5 Rafale aircraft has been landed in Indian borders. So this is definitely giving a upper hand for Indian Air Force. But I would never say this is a game changer, but this is definitely a big advantage that which Indian Air Force is having currently. So, and also we are planning to develop several generation 4 aircraft, and we recently started developing a generation 5 aircraft completely by all over completely by Indians, by everything from scratch. We are planning to develop, which is already the project has been started. If everything goes fine, by 2024 we gonna see the first generation 5 aircraft, which is all completely only built within India for testing purpose. And also that one of the major advantage which Indian Air Force have is air runways. So we have around 16 runways deployed in different parts of the India, which is all around with the distance of 150 to 200 kilometers range. If suppose one airways is been attacked, we have a very next airways which can be connected very much immediately within one to one next, like within 300 kilometers. But China is having a very difficult situation in this, because they have only 5 air base, which air runways they have, and also the distance between each runway is like minimum like 200 to 400. So if suppose one airways is affected, so it will create a huge disadvantages for airways, because we have to consider one point, that including the fuel efficiency also. And because if you see Rafale, it can take off until the time it can land, it can travel around 4000 kilometer in air. But the most advanced J-20 which the Chinese troops have, it can travel around 2500 to 2800 kilometers from the time to take off and the time to the take land in the runways. So considering all these things, Indian Air Base is also a big advantage for Indian Air Force. And one more thing which has to be observed is, in recent time, Australia and India and has come up with an agreement wherein Australia can use their Indian Air Navy base, which is located in Andaman and Nicobar, in the purpose of war against this China. And also India can use Coco Island, which belongs to Australia, for refueling the tanks or refueling the air jets for war purpose, which is owned by Coco Island, which is owned by Australia. So this is also a major advantage, which recent agreement that India has made with Australia. If you not aware of this, Coco Island is located right below below China and Australia. So not only Rafale, we had made a several upgradation in recent time in Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force, which is considerably in a very huge amount. Which the list includes like Hammer launcher for Rafale for launcher weapons, and I guess launcher. And from Germany, we have ordered around 72,000 rifle, range like S1 SIG 760, and we have ordered Israel anti-tank guided missile. And from Russia, we have ordered a mid-level Air Force fighter jet, and also we plan to renew all the existing Air Force which has to be renewed, that order also given for Russia. And also India, as I said, India is planning for a fifth generation Air Force, which is completely from scratch, built in India. So we have a big upper hand in Indian Army and Indian Air Force. So when it compares to Navy, we somewhere stand back when we compare to the Chinese Navy, because as of now we have only one aircraft carrier ship, and there is a one aircraft carrier ship which is IAS Vikrant, which is been developing in Kochi currently. By 2021 mid or by end of 2021, we can see that which is added. We can see that IAS Vikrant to be added in Indian Navy as well. If that joins, it will be definitely we will be having a upper hand. But Indian Navy is having a one major advantage naturally, because if you see Indian geography structure, India is having a major advantage. If suppose China want to attack us through Navy, they'll definitely have a huge pressure from American Navy, South Korea and Japan Navy, along with Indian Navy, because already US Navy has deployed two of their major air carrier ship in near South China Sea, which to support Taiwan and South Korea and Japan. So if India, so if China is trying to attack us through Navy, definitely US people will support India in this. So it will be definitely a drawback for Chinese Navy. And also, as per the latest news, Indian Navy has applied a application with the central government of India to develop a third air carrier ship, all owned by India from scratch. It has to be developed for India. They just kept an application. If this is approved, India will be having three air carrier ship by end of 2024 or 2025, which will be also a very huge plus for Indian Navy. And also, many people will have a question: what will happen if India and China will get into a war kind of zone? Definitely, Pakistan and China will club their hands together to fight against India, but we might get a support from US government, US Army, because US people they complete definitely means a business, because they are very professional people. They means only business. If we support, they support. If they support and we support, they expect a mutual benefit, which is because no country wants to help the other country without any business. That is not any major drawback. Definitely we might get a support from USA if we also equally support them. And other countries, we already getting a support from Japan, and we already started getting support from Australia. And in this fight, most probably Russia might become neutral, because they are being very friendly country with very long term from India, and also in recent time also they become very friendly country with China, only to against USA. Because if you see, China is the major trading partner of Russia in export of oil and this thing. If they support India, definitely the oil trade between China and Russia will be affected. If they support Russia, the trade between Russia and India, like warfare missionaries, these kind of trades will be affected. So Russia is not ready to lose both the things, but they definitely try to be kind of neutral and compromising kind of talks we can expect from Russia. And also you can see the recent time, even Russia and China are becoming like their friendship is being cracking in recent times, because Russia government has directed there is a Chinese spy in the Russian embassy for spying the Russian government. So China's clarification for this made Russian government still far more angrier, because they have said we have kept a spy just to make sure our security is being there. So this statement has made the Russian government far more angrier on China. These things. Okay, so at this current situation, both Indian government and Chinese government don't want to involve any war, because they have even Chinese people facing lot of internal issues, like Tibetan countries, they want to become independent country, and Hong Kong they want to become independent. And also there is a Islamic community people who been facing a huge pressure from the Chinese government. Our community is called Uyghur Islamic community. They also want freedom from communism from Chinese. So even China is facing so much internal issue. So both the countries not it's the right time to get into war. And also China, they never want a huge war with India. They only want to control our Indian power India, because they just want a war, a small scale war, which is gonna long for 10 to 15 days, and they want to win this those kind of war they are expecting with India. Because Chinese, they were never ready to keep a war with India, because India is not the major threat for China. China is having a major threat from many countries like USA, Japan, and many other countries. So China, they never want to involve in a major war. As I said, this was the major reason. So that is the reason they're having a second thought of initiating the war with India. Okay guys, this is what I just wanted to discuss in this video. I'm not sure how detailedly I could able to explain this, because this is very complicated things to be explained. I hope if you have any doubts to be clarified in more in detail, you can just leave it in a comment. I'll be available to give a brief about that in depth. Thanks so much. Bye.